Says Sator, it's Sator. It's just Sator. Don't worry
Sator,
about
my
it.
bad.
No, it's actually just a meme at this stage that every single American caster gets it wrong. It's perfectly fine. But I do have an accent, so it stays at Sator. But no, very excited to jump into Divinity. I'm usually just a slight bit above you up in Vanquisher, but it is very enjoyable to come down and see how they're getting on because I started down here.
Yeah, definitely. And these games can go any which way sometimes, depending on how the teams play it. Today we have Funny Business Packers and Imperial Gaming. Both teams are 2-2, as you can see. Their seedings, roughly about the same, just based on games won and lost. But one important thing to note is that IG Imperial Gaming actually 2-0'd the undefeated team last week, TFF Alptronauts. So they might be feeling pretty good about themselves, but we're going to go straight into the bans and the draft. And to kick things off, we got a Jinx ban, a Hecarim ban, and a Lilith ban on side of IG. And then Funny Business Backers have banned the Nocturne. One key thing to note is that they're going to be missing 2 bans just because one of their players doesn't have a rank yet. So that is going to be the slight adjustment for them. But they're going to first pick Ashe for their side.
Yeah, they're going to take away a decent ADC here. Good utility, can be flexed into support, but we do see the ADC more these days. We do see Ziggs coming on the other side, a good flex pick as well. Mid and ADC available, so a lot of options for them. But I'm surprised to see Skarner not being taken here in first rotation and when it's being left up and available. I'm actually going to see a Amumu come through, which is also a flex pick, but expecting it in the jungle, right?
Yeah, definitely. Ashe is definitely a good pickup too, especially after the recent patch. Got some buffs. We get a Thresh pickup as well too, to just round out that bot lane. So it's going to be an Ashe ADC in all likelihood. But yeah, Skarner looking really strong, honestly, in the jungle, and surprised too. But IG didn't ban him out, and it's going to be an Ivern actually for the side of Funny Business Backers. For those that don't know as well too, this is a tierless draft, so any champs picks in any of the games can't be used in subsequent games by any teams. So this will be the first and last you see of these champs. And we get a Zeri pickup. Interesting. This might be a Ziggs mid, if I were to guess, for IG here.
You're going to take the Ziggs into the mid lane. I don't actually mind Ziggs into the Ashe and the Thresh. I think that would have been a fine lane for Ziggs to stay and scale in. And I think Zeri might have a little bit more difficulty, but Paradigm Shift is going to be very comfortable on that if they're going to be taking it into that heavy CC and slow lane when Zeri is known for speed. But coming into the second set of bans, Tryndamere, Yone, Ori, and I'm going to guess it has to be another top lane that they have to be worried about here. So I'm going to be surprised if Cassante isn't, but it's going to be Lulu instead. These bans seem in the wrong order now at this stage in my brain.
Yeah, maybe just worried a little bit about the Lulu and Zeri pairing, but honestly a Yuumi Zeri pairing is also pretty nasty at times. It's going to be a Leona actually as support for IG, and just missing the top laners now for them, and also obviously for Funny Business Packers, as they're probably going to pick up their mid lane and top lane right now. It's going to be a Silas mid. Could be interesting. There's some pretty solid ultimates actually that Silas could steal on the side of IG.
That is the best pick I've seen in this draft so far, because everything else is confusing me. But that's a really, really good pickup. Even just taking the Leona or the Amumu ult just allows you to kind of get around those team fights a little bit easier, take away some of their power by using it back. But the Riven top, taking the Tryndamere away is a good option there. Riven does have a very hard time into the Tryndamere, but Cassante is still available. But they're going to opt into a Poppy, which is actually really, really good for Riven, Silas, and even Thresh's hook is stopped by it. And Ivern's Q, if it hits and everyone flies forward, Poppy can actually block that. So melee matchups, Poppy's going to be able to take the lead on this one in the top side and really put that hurt onto that Riven. So I'm liking some of the counter picks they've played, but Skarner not being taken is just screaming something's wrong in this for me.
Well, they got potentially 2 other games to take it, at least 1 other game to pick that up too. But maybe some of these players might not feel as comfortable on this corner, but that is going to be rounding out our picks too. And I think the position where they're going to be is pretty expected at this point in time. And yeah, I do like that Poppy last pick, but again, another great ultimate that side can steal too. So let's see how Greye plays this out.
Yeah, I think one of the things that a lot of people don't realize about Silas is that, yes, you can get some great ults and they can be really game changing, but it's also speed of usage. So although you said like Poppy's one could be really useful, there is a little thing about like the faster you can use it, the better. So you go into it and you're like, what can I use the fastest and then get my second rotation off? If you step back and try to use a Poppy ult, you have 4 or 5 seconds of what am I actually doing here? Like, I'm not getting damage out. I'm not applying pressure. Yes, I'm trying to knock them out of the fight, but if I take the Amumu ult, I can dash in, use a full combo, drop the ult, and then go again. It's all about reusing your entire kit as fast as possible. So if I were to Silas, I would be looking at Ziggs, Amumu, Leona. Ease of use as fast as you can get it out, because these games, especially in this kind of meta that we're in, team fights go very, very fast and every second matters. And if Silas is the most important character, you can't be stepping back to use the likes of a Poppy ult. But we're onto the Rift and we're seeing what looks like 5-mana invade through the bot side.
All right, and we got Paradigm Shift grabbing some vision as well for their team. It's actually a Zeri mid. We were mistaken there. So Azure Fire is actually going to be mid with the Zeri, and Paradigm Shift is actually going to be bot side with the Ziggs. And I mean, obviously, it's going to be solid for Ziggs to have that range there too. But I haven't seen a Zeri mid in a hot second since that ADC meta.
I actually like this. I actually like pushing the Ziggs down to the bot side. I think it's safer. I think Zeri's going to have a much harder time into that CC slow kind of style that comes through with the Ash Thresh. It's very nullifying for someone that wants to get aggressive and wants to do damage. But you put a Ziggs down there, he will happily farm and do nothing for the entire game. He will happily go, okay, cool, it's 30 minutes. I'm 0, 0, and 0. I'll throw an ult and kill 4 people. It's fine. That's how we roll. So I like it. Also, I do like the wards being placed right now by IG, stopping that Ivern possibly sneaking into a jungle. They're very deep and defensive, getting into that river. As we do see, Kimchi is going to get the... I can't remember the top laner's name, but there's a top laner that always screams, if you're a Riven, just start fighting immediately. You don't even need minions. Just go.
Yeah, right, definitely. And here we are. Things are gonna kick off here too. How do you favor the Zeri versus Silas lane? Because I feel like if you're just caught out, it's slightly in the wrong position against the Silas, it can be a little bit annoying. And the Zeri dash, a little bit hard to use in that mid lane as we see a hook land just for some harass onto concrete right here.
One of the things that a lot of people that will play Silas will realize is that you want, if you're playing Conqueror, you want extended trades, and Zeri will not go for that. As we do see the all-in coming in here from Concrete, we will see the knockback, and it will slowly poke away that Ashe. But going back to that matchup, because you asked, Zeri's going to have a good time in the lane because they can get the shove, they can get the pressure, they can get that tower in. Silas wants to be trading off of wave timings, and with extended trades on Conqueror, Zeri's not going to allow that. So Zeri's going to be in a good place. It may be with the electrocute, we might have seen a little bit more from the Silas in terms of aggression, but this is going to be a very slow, hard lane for Silas. We'll have to keep an eye on roam timings and see if Silas can get out of that lane. Other than that, Zeri's going to have a really easy time shoving it in, staying safe, and Ziggs, you don't need to be there.
Yeah, a little overextended from Paradigm, especially with the Leona a little bit further back. But Concrete going to be able to peel a little bit, but the Ashe is really chipping down and kiting this Leona back. Meanwhile, Poppy having a decent health advantage in this 1v1 matchup here too. Riven's going to have to play a little bit more carefully.
Let's have to go for this one. But we have guesses coming in for drafts. I'm going to say that the draft is heavily won by IG because there's an Amumu there, and Amumu always seems to win drafts. Do you feel the same, or are you going FPB?
No, I think so too as well. I mean, and then just the lane matchups too overall look pretty good for IG. And I mean, getting more experience on and gold on Zeri is also always going to be a good thing as long as she doesn't get called out too much in the early game. And of course, Ziggs looking pretty safe in the bot lane as long as you don't overextend. So I'm glad to agree with you here, but who knows? Maybe Funny Business backers are going to be able to execute a little better game.
We could execute a better game, but we do have FPB have actually won it. I'm going to have to think that it's going to have to be Ashe that's kind of pushing it over with the recent kind of buffs to Ashe and how prevalent she is currently into it. As we do see, this could be a very easy 2v2 to start this one off, as Corey is going to get pushed off. It's going to relax a little bit, but yeah, maybe the Ashe into Ziggs is just tipping it in the favor of FPB for this one, but there's something about that Amumu that's still screaming at me that they could be able to win this one. But this bot lane, Ashe is doing really well to stay ahead in CS in a lane where Ziggs can clear a little bit easier.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can see a little skirmish on that bot side there. Have to back off a little bit because Ashe still had a decent amount of health and no mana on that Ziggs to contest. But we'll see kind of how that goes too. I mean, I think the late game is going to be interesting as well too. No super hyperscaler on either side, but Zeri could be pretty scary in that late game as well in the right situation. So, going to have to see kind of how that plays out.
Yeah, I'm looking at this start here. Both junglers backed early, full clear, do their thing. Amumu with slight advantage as they did manage to get a little bit more. But other than that, this gank, this is Kimchi. You're a little bit far forward for this one as the binding will land. It should be an easy jump away, but no, the W doesn't go up in time. They're over aggressing on this one, but they do manage to get first blood and out. But both flashes burns in the top side. That could be a very easy return gank if we do see the Ivern go towards that top side.
Yeah, meanwhile, we got this Leona roaming here. Vision on the, what is it? I think it's a Silas. I didn't even see it in the bush at first, too. And here we see the Zeri backing up a little bit. Both teams are going to just back off to their respective sides. But this early roam is going to put a little more pressure on the Ziggs as well, too. Going to have to 1v2 this lane a bit, as we can see a quick replay on this top lane fight here. Kimchi doesn't really have vision of that Riverside. Not really sure where this move is, but here it comes. At this point, too, I think Legend Kimchi knows that they're in trouble. First bandage charge lands, and of course, the second one lands as well, too, and you get that dive from the Poppy afterward, too. Yeah, Frost is probably worth it at that point in time, too, because her damage is definitely increased quite a bit this season. You see both mid laners just trading a bit here.
Yeah, I am a little bit interested there because it didn't seem like Poppy was on the same page as the Amumu there when it came to that one. There seemed to be a little bit of miscommunication as Poppy stepped back, Amumu kept going, then Poppy stepped in as we do see Ziggs just getting lethal tempoed by this lovely Ivern combo, but the TP comes in from Zeri. Zeri will arrive in the bot side. The ult will go off, but do they have the damage to cut through more than one as they are just getting hit back? There goes the Leona though. Will they be able to clean this one? Minions look like they might finish it off for her. Will they be able to get back in time to save it? No, here comes the Ivern. Does manage to trade one back, but here's the Leona. Battle Tech supports on the way as it is a heavy win for IG and they get Warfare.
That's right. First of those 3 kills for their side. Pretty bloody fight on both ends here in this bottom side. And here's how it started off as we're a little bit off this point in for. So actually the flash forward here too to catch the Ziggs. And then just this Ashe just constantly kiting and slowing down the Ziggs. This has nowhere to go to. Really great focus from Bob right there. But the re-engage from Concrete and then the Zeri roam as well. Definitely proved to be useful, but able to get 2 kills here, but not 3.
Yeah, 2 kills picked up. Concrete will be able to finish that one off. The minions actually get both of them for Zeri, so that's massive for Zeri into that mid lane as Silas could not follow that one as we do go back. The Drake is being taken for the side of IG. They are already up with the Grubs as well. So this is Warfare completed. 2 of the 3 objectives now going to be completed on the other side of it. This looks like it could be a big closeout game if they can continue to control the early game, but I want to get your opinion on how much will this Riven be able to do in the late game if Poppy's ahead with this much?
Yeah, I mean, I think unless you find the right pickoffs here, it could be a tough game for Riven as well too. But I think if you could dash into those back lines, right? I mean, take out the Ziggs early on, maybe even the Zeri could be pretty good. But you know, Zeri just has so much mobility as well too. It's kind of hard to lock her down. As you see a fight going on right now too. Is there a fire on the Zeri doing quite a bit of damage in this 1v1? I mean, those 2 kills plus the assist is really gonna put her ahead in gold advantage over that Silas. And as you can see too, it's not going to be a fun time for the Silas so far.
Yeah, and you can already see the difference in the items with the Hextech Alternator kind of completed for Silas. You're like, yeah, that's a great, really good item for them. But you already see the Slingshot and the BF sort of available for that. Yuntal now completed. Very comfortable Zeri. You see Ashe flying backwards towards the Ziggs. Great satchel toss, but we'll be able to walk out nice and clean. But very aggressive this bot side for a lane that I expected to just see farming.
Yeah, and that Leona went quite deep too. It took two full tower shots in the process there, but is going to force this Ashe back at least. So going to be able to push their advantage quite a bit here as we see the Ivern Corey trying to harass this move a little bit, but not going to do anything too much there as both junglers going to go back to farming here. But yeah, again, every time we look at this top lane, it looks like this Riven just struggling here. I can barely contest some of the CS right now, but still hang in there actually against a Poppy in terms of minions killed.
Yeah, the gold will stay pretty even. That extra kill will push it over as we do see an all-in coming in on the mid lane. Here comes Grey A. The
Oh,
arrow also hits, is everything they need. That was a great shot. A wonderful little snipe, but will Silas be able to get enough off of this one in terms of plating and gold as well? I still think Zeri's in a very good position, but we'll get a quick replay of this one. We'll get to see this arrow actually come from downtown.
yeah, beautiful arrow all the way from bot lane as well too. I don't even know if it was fully needed, but hey, just securing that kill here too. As you can see, I mean, Zeri could have potentially just jumped across the wall there too. So stopping her right in the tracks is pretty big for funny business as the gold differential is definitely on the side of IG to no one's surprise. But nothing too crazy at this moment in time.
No, I'd be a bit worried if we were seeing 10k gold leads 10 minutes into the game, but for the moment, everything is calm. The gold is firmly in the hands of the Zeri, though. That's where we're seeing the difference. We'll see a little bit in that top side due to that one kill, but with the Void Grubs now coming up, Thresh is the first one on the move. Concrete is slightly behind this play, so we might not see a full... Okay, never mind. Amumu is just going to go for it. This is a little bit worrying because this is not where you want to be.
Yeah, you got the Western Reinforcements come through. The Poppy ult is going to knock the Riven back. And we do actually get the Thresh taken down. Amumu's still alive at this point in time. Not anymore, though. Size is going to take him down. As you can see, the Leona ultimate not going to land just quite yet, as Silas is on top of this Zeri. Zeri is quite low here. Azure Fire just barely gets out. Takes out Riven in the process. Grey finally takes down the Zeri, but now has a 1v2 here. And not going to be able to take it out himself. So Noble Bark is going to pick up another kill. Long distance arrow connecting, but not doing any significant damage. Merc Amasta actually surviving quite a bit here, kind of caught in a rock in a really hard place here as sandwiched between three members. But the ultimate from Poppy is absolutely huge here to knock the Riven back by some spacing, and you see the rotation from Leona as well to back up the team. And we're gonna have to double check. I didn't actually see how many grubs are actually secured on both ends here. If I don't know if Imperial Gaming got all 6 or not, but they definitely got at least 1 or 2.
Yeah, this is the thing that I want to watch more than anything else, though. Basically, see the Zeri go for the 1v1 here against Grey A, as we do see this splitting up. Legend Kimchi doesn't auto here, flashes and misses the Zeri. Zeri manages to step off and go back to it, and it does get cleaned up in the end, but just that Riven flash past the Zeri that was walking towards you, that's a mental breaker, that one point right there. 'Cause it's like, oh, that's a shutdown. That's so much money for me. Where did they go? And then you're getting shot in the back. It is the worst, but that will be 5 grubs or 4 grubs for IG. There will be 2 picked up for FEB, which isn't the biggest loss, but we can see there's a TP into the Drake pit. This is what they want to go for. They want that last feat, and on the other side, it's going to be a big fight. Here's Grey A. You might be in too much trouble to handle right now.
Oh, Curse of the Sad Mummy, though, was stolen. However, the Leona ult does land on Grey. Grey is going to get out for now. But meanwhile, the Thresh going to try to sacrifice himself for the carry. But actually, Taylor gets out on the Thresh as well. Really impressive stuff so far. I mean, surprised no one actually died in that fight so far.
Yeah.
All right, Taylor is running for her life a little bit. Might go for the execute. Let's see if there's enough. Yeah, the turret is going to take out Taylor. So good reaction there. Not trying to give another kill over to Noble on this Poppy. Already 2-0 here. Another long distance arrow going to land. It is going to be on the Mumu though, so nothing too significant right there. Azure Fire on Zeri is going to be nearby. Oh, it's actually the Zig. Sorry, I got my
wrong Yordle.
Yordle looking champs confused a bit here. As you see, actually it's going to be the Mumu going to be working on that Drake, and that's going to be the monster slaying feats of strength, I believe, right? Because yeah, they got the 3 grubs or 4 grubs, I guess now, and 2 Drakes. So if anything, they have the feats of strength completed for their side, and they're going to just continue to extend their lead a bit. However, Grey A on this Silas Is getting fairly fed, all things considered. Actually, I remember in that 1v1 against Zeri at the Grubs, I actually had a low advantage over this area for that fight too. So it's not behind it by any means in this specific game.
No, a decent position here for the Silas to claw their way back in after Zeri started it so well with that double kill from the TP that they had used. So some great work to build themselves back into this one. It is still worrying that that feed has been picked up so early. They have that all set for themselves now in terms of what they want to do next. But we do see a 1v1 immediately breaking out as Zeri will have a step back off this one, but not fully stepping back. They're like, hold on a minute, I could have fought that one. But we will see it all just cut out there. Ult was picked up by the Silas as well. I think the main thing we got to be looking at now, though, is if we go over to the side of IG and go, they want to be team fighting here. They have the Mumu, the Leona, the Zeri. They want a team fight. You can't really be getting caught on sides like this, can you?
Yeah, and speaking of caught on sides, Concrete is going to get pinched by 3 members here. Does try to survive here. Leona is super tanky, and we get the re-engage from side of IG. Merc Masa is going to cast the ultimate, going to stun up 3 members right here. And it looks like there now things have turned quite a bit as Taylor is going to go down to the Ziggs. Here comes Zeri. Azure Fire is going to take down the Ivern as well. 4 members of IG are going to push their advantage here. Their goal lead is over 5K at this point, and they're looking to pick up their second turret.
Yeah, and this is where the Ziggs comes in as well as they continue to pick these ones up. As you will get a replay here of the Leonas getting stunned and stunned and stunned, but the damage just isn't there yet. Taylor, you can get all of the hooks that you want, but that Leona is not dying. The missed hook there slows Taylor down. She will be stuck behind, and she just knows herself. That's not where you need to be right now. They're going to get knocked out by that one. Concrete Burns Flash doesn't land, but you see Zeri come over the wall to help clean that one up. And from here, it's an easy tower take. So
Yeah,
they've completed the feat for all 3 now. They've got everything they need, and it's your... No, that's mean. Don't do that.
The double Zeri ult going to come through here as Azura very aggressive on this area. I love the rotations as well too. Very active in these fights. 8 out of 11 kill participation as well for the side of IG. But yeah, doing a lot for the team so far. Top lane still not looking great for this Riven. Keeping up in CS, but the Econ's definitely on the side as Poppy. As you can see, Poppy going to get a little bit more reinforcement from Concrete as well, just push things back as looking like IG's going to position for this Rift Herald. As you see, all 5 members actually rotating over to this objective.
I'm just saying, as a Jinx main, Zeri stole Jinx's whole flow. I'm just putting it out there because Zap was Jinx's thing, and like lightning and speed and all that was what Jinx was. And then they were like, we need another one. It's like, no, we didn't. We just got rid of the crazy and gave her green hair. Like, that's just unnecessary. But
Light accent, you know.
yeah, like just. But they're all. Is Zeri from Zaun as well?
You know, I'm not fully sure. I don't know the lore as much, but
We'll ask Golden. Golden's the lore person. We'll ask Golden later. We'll get some of the production team on that. Don't worry, all you lore people out there. But on the other side of things, as we go back into this game, as I took us out, we do have a fight in the top side. As we do see Curse that Mummy actually used, but a great hook from Taylor. She manages to grab onto that Amumu. But here comes the trade back. Paradigm Shift is free firing now, but we will finally see Concrete go down. Legend Kimchi will get onto that Tribush. Will chase down that Ziggs on the other side. Paradigm, oh, that's one gone. Let's see what they can do with the rest of it. But they do take out Merc Masta. So an easy 2 kills picked up, but more importantly, the objective still in IG's hands.
Yeah, going to be a little bit gold to help at least try to even out the score a little bit. As you can see, Concrete just really caught out here, maybe trying to do some ward, and Merc Masta forced to just, you know, spend the Mumu ult. Maybe not the most opportune time. A great hook from Taylor as well to slow down this Mumu. As you can see, Concrete is bulky, but not bulky enough at this point in time too. The shutdown going over to Legend Kimchi is going to be big to help get Legend Kimchi a little bit back into this game. Oh, and another long distance arrow as well. Just missing out there too, but these arrows have been quite nice from Paradigm all game.
They have been good. They just need to follow them up a little bit more and add more damage to that. I think one of the things that we will be saying at the end of this about FPB is that they will be lacking damage. If Silas isn't getting full combos off constantly and not being checked, Silas could run rampant, but once that Silas disappears or goes down or goes low or is not hitting everything, we're going to start to see their damage fall off because Kimchi not strong enough yet, just the Eclipse build. Ash has a Kraken Slayer, yes, but hasn't got that attack speed item, won't be able to just run through people and keep them slowed. On the other side, Zeri, Ziggs, and Mumu, they all do decent damage at this stage, but Taylor stepping up aggressively. Maybe get a hook over the top of this one. Does manage to miss it, but here comes all the ults, all the combos, everything dropping Paradigm down. But Zeri free firing on the back, cutting through them 1 by 2. Let's see if they can keep this one going. Mercman goes down, but here comes the damage. It's 1, 2, 3. That could be a penta right here, but no, it is stolen by the Poppy.
Oh, and we see Baba trying to kite out the Azure Fire Zeri, but not able to do it. Only one item on that Ashe. It's not going to be the matchup power of Azure Fire on that Zeri. I mean, that, Paradigm on the back end too was also, doing quite a bit of damage from behind, but just couldn't really match that same damage that Zeri has too, especially with that mid lane experience and gold. As you see, it's going to be Imperial Gaming going to claim up another Drake.
There's not enough vision from either team to really be taking these fights. We can see little bits here and there, but Kimchi stepping up into blind areas, and they finally managed to spot out a few. Taylor here going for some very aggressive plays, not fully seeing the bush, and collapse, knockback, they go through for it. Here comes a nice hook, but it misses. A great engage coming through as they do manage to take a paradigm shift almost immediately. The Leona ult drops as well to buy more time for his Eurofire, and you'll see shot after shot after shot, and it's just ripping through everyone with the extra pen. All of those zaps coming through as well from the Zeri ult, as you see bouncing damage, and it's just absolutely disgusting. Daisy also goes down very quickly in this fight, which means Ivern has to step out. And at this point, you can put all the shields you want onto an Ashe if you're an Ivern, but without Daisy, you are not a champion.
Yeah, and that Runan's really coming in clutch there for Azure Fire in that fight too, just doing all that massive damage to the entire team. Funny business, as we see, the gold lead is going to extend almost to 5K at this point too. Taylor looking for some positioning there too, maybe thinks differently about going for that hook as the 6 is right there. Zeri is from Zon though, so got the lore on handy now from our production. As we can see, IG is now on Soul Point, and they're not looking to slow down anytime soon. And that Zeri is starting to get pretty scary here too. 300 gold shutdown, 8, 3, and 4 so far. Getting very involved in all these fights.
Just so everyone knows, when we were getting that information, I got barked at by production. Tell me that, so a lot of appreciation going out, but check the barks. But we'll go back and we'll have a quick look through this, as we're going to break it down nice and easily here. So we have Poppy versus Riven. I think Riven right now just doesn't have the sauce to get through. It's Colton to get through the Poppy. So that side lane should be in full control of the Poppy if they do ever match up. But at the moment, it is the Sylas. I don't think Sylas has it quite yet either. In the jungle, very, very even. A couple of extra assists for the Amumu and a little bit more gold, but that redemption coming through, that dark seal on the Ivern. Scaling is available, and Ivern just applies a lot more utility in terms of keeping someone alive than Amumu will with that CC. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as the game goes on. Mid lane, Zeri is an absolute terror, but if you can blow that squishy Zeri up, we can see this game change very, very quickly. So let's keep an eye on Zeri's positioning during all these fights. While in the bot side, yes, Ashe has gotten some really good ults, and Ziggs really good at taking towers and throwing bombs, but I haven't seen enough from the bot lanes yet. Bar Taylor. Taylor has landed some really nice hooks, and we're going to go in once again. Here comes the redemption. Legend Kimchi trying to get onto that Ziggs, but will not land it, and both of the carries are now unchecked, but Daisy doing some work on the back. We will see Paradigm Shift go down, but on the other side, we will see Sylas fall to the Zeri. Right now, though, we do see a nice little move there from the Poppy to get out of that fight into the Herald, crash it in, and it is going all up right now for IG as they manage to catch on to Taylor. Tower will fall. That was a really well executed Poppy engage to swap back into that Rift Herald. I will give full credit for that one.
Yeah, it was beautiful right there. As Engage does not stop as well. The flash forward to stun up Baba on the Ashe, and Ashe fighting for their life right now. As you can see, just going to shred this Leona as fast as possible. Leona is way too bulky to go down quickly. Finally does go down, but so does Ivern from Amumu right now. And here, first inhibitor is going to fall down at 23 minutes. We got Runa's Otacon still up and available too. The most impressive thing with that fight is that the Rift Herald was alive for the Poppy to even hop in. I feel like the Rift Herald was dropped for like a whole minute prior. At first I was thinking this Rift Herald is not going to get any value for them as they're going to just cut it down, but still staying alive just for the Poppy to hop in there, crash into turret, and picking up 2 turrets and a inhibitor after that too. Pretty great stuff for IG so far.
Yeah, I feel like that Rift Herald was like Grop in the Battle of Hogwarts, just kind of like confused by all the fighting, but still swinging randomly. But that is a great little combo coming through with Silas, the Spanish Lawan. Taylor lands the hook and the Ash Arrow as well. They drop everything. And Grey A says, you can throw bombs, I can throw bigger ones, and just eliminate Ziggs from this one right before Drake as well. Drake up in 30 seconds. That is soul for IG. Will they go for this fight, or will they just sneak off and see if they can do Atakan?
All right, Paradigm Shift seems to be dying quite a decent amount on the Ziggs this game, but luckily for IG, haven't really missed out on a lot of that Ziggs damage as the rest of the team is doing quite a bit. But Gray is going to go for the engage on Merc Masa as well, and you see Curse of Sad Mummy is going to come through to slow things down a bit as Riven is going to go down, but Merc Masa is going to go down as well. Azure Fire is on the chase though as the Zeri ultimate comes through, and another goes down for the side of Funny Business. It's just Silas and Ivern left at this point too. Ivern's not long for this world as well as he's going to try to slow down the Poppy, but Gray is still by himself. Almost takes down the Zeri, but not quite as the Zerfire is doing a ton of damage. 3 full items already, plus the advanced boots to add on to it, as it looks like they might be trying to just close out the game at 25 minutes.
Yeah, that should be game, set, and match here for IG. Can we please get a replay of that last fight, though? Because I want to see when Zeri flashed forward. If at all possible. If it's not possible, it's fine. But Zeri, like, point blank flashed. Okay, no worries. It was a crazy flash. It was like... which chat should be screaming about that flash? Like, 100%.
Fantastic game from IG. I mean, pretty much had a strong hold on the games from beginning to end. Big damage coming out from Azure Fire on that Zeri. Definitely paid off in that mid lane pickup as well. And of course, the Poppy was very, very strong to 5-0 and 7 as well. Just really slowing down that Riven to make her not really have too much impact throughout the game. As you see, I think top damage does go to that Zeri by quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, no, Zeri had a pop-off game with, when you look at the team comp, you go, that is the kind of team comp you want to be as an attack damage carry. You have Leona in front of you, Poppy stopping dashes, and then a Mumu to set you up. You have everything required of you, and although Riven does have some backline access, they're the games you're screaming for, like a Nocturne or a Vi, something that can point, click, and hit that carry. And without that, it just kind of fell apart for FPB. So IG, really, really good comp going into this one. Thing is, though, we're in Fearless here, Caleb, and more than likely, we're not going to see the same styles come out from these teams. They're going to have to change these ones up quick.
Yeah, well, good news is Skarner is still on the board here, too. Let's see if either team is more tempted to pick it up or even ban it for game number 2. That's game number 1 for us. This is a best of 3. We'll be right back with a quick break as these teams start loading up for game number 2. Welcome back to Titan Esports. We are, in fact, in Divinity League right now, not Conquer League, but that's okay. It's all good. Little typo there. We have just finished up first game in Imperial Gaming versus Funny Business, and IG was able to take that win very quickly. 25-minute game. This is a best of 3 though, so we have at least one game ahead of us.
At least one game ahead of us, and I only thought we had production issues on Tuesdays. Well, it seems to be every day of the week when Sharogan's here. Yes, we are in Divinity, and I'm cautiously optimistic for IG's chances. I'd say that they had a very, very good showing. They had very good early game control, good counter picks. They had a very strong ideas going in and an incredible flex. I keep going back to the Zeri and the Ziggs, and I was like, oh, Ziggs would have been so good bot lane. It was very good. It held that lane. It neutralized it. It looked a bit scary at some points with a couple of deaths, but Zeri got to take over with what looked like a protect a puppy comp, where they had all their damage coming from the Zeri. Ziggs was just doing that extra bit of magic damage, and then 3 tanks in the front. It's a perfectly executed comp. They did it really well. But I think FBP, they have kind of a chance to prove themselves now that, like, we just threw out some champions, had a feel for how the game went, know where we need to focus, and they're going to go, okay, let's just absolutely hammer them now and show what we can actually do. We're not going to pick Riven or Ivern, maybe not a Silas, and let's just get this one down. And the one that I kind of want to watch the most going into this is probably Taylor, because out of all of them, I think Thresh looked the best. There was moments there where Thresh was just shining. As the game went on, there was just hooks, there was engages, there was aggressive looks forward. Alongside Kimchi, some really, really good kind of steps into fights, good positioning, and Grey had some really, really good kills and good kind of, I guess, initiative on how to play these fights. But I think the champs let them down in the end. I think it was a bit of a draft if.
Yeah, there are definitely, sparkles of brilliance in that game from FBP, but just didn't have really the damage a lot of times to match. Like you said, too, Taylor having some really good hooks, but after her hooks landed, there just wasn't enough damage, I think, to close it out there too. Baba looked pretty good on the Ashe, but again, just not enough damage, not enough items to even match the Zeri in a lot of those fights. One key thing to note is that I talked about this earlier, but IG, they were the team to 2-0 the undefeated team, the Astronauts, last week. And one of the games, it was Azure Fire on Zeri kind of carrying the way on a 12-7-5 scoreline, which, funny enough, was also into a mid lane Silas. And the other game was actually on a 12-1-5 Cassiopeia. So hopefully FBP did some of their homework to see if they could potentially target that ban potentially, because that Cassiopeia looked pretty nasty for Azure as well in those situations. But before we get into the draft too, let's take a look at our Kiss, Marry, Kill for this week too. I feel like you're the one that kind of differs the most here too, so I'll let you break down your thoughts on here.
I think there's a lot of stuff that I cannot say for PG reasons, but also I don't believe Warwick is meant to be in there. I believe they were all Hecarims. I think this is the incorrect one. But for this one that we did do the last time, I'm just saying that, like, that is also not the right one. That was from 2 weeks ago. We're going to wait for the next one, because there is someone in the background called Golden that can never get these right. And I will forever flame Golden for the rest of my life for this one, and I will get barked at once again by production. But this one actually was the one I probably liked the most that I didn't get to join in on, because this was just for you, the snow one. But here we go, the Hecarims.
There we go.
So Cosmic Charger, it's a nice skin, but I don't need you to show me the world. I'm not into Aladdin. It's just not my thing. It's not my favorite Disney movie. World Breaker, that's something you want for one night and one night only. You don't need your world broken every single night. Arcade, why are you not marrying a gamer? Talk to me.
I don't know about your first two rationale, but you had me sold on the Arcade Hecarim. I thought could be fun for a night and stuff, but you're right. Why not just be married to another gamer for the rest of your life, right? So if I were to,
my girlfriend is in a support main, and I'm an ADC main now because of her. I used to be a support main, so like we play League all the time together. So what else would you want in life?
Exactly.
Apart from that, she plays Zyra. But argue about that.
Wait, she plays Zyra support?
She mains Zyra support. Okay. That is her. She has over 1.3 million mastery, and I'm a 1.6 million Jinx.
You know, if you really want to try to flip the script a little bit, you could try to play ADC Rakan. I just don't know how that would go, but that would really cement the theme going on.
Zyra is Zyra is one of those champions that doesn't suit her because she kills every single flower I've ever bought her. So Zyra should not be her champion. But
I thought you said Zaya support at first.
No, it's the accent. Look, you'll get used to it. It's the Irish.
No, Zyra support makes a lot more sense. I was like, Zaya support is kind of wild, but.
No, it's Zyra. It's something she plays, and I play Jhin with it sometimes. But it's just, you sometimes just want that kit and you want the Lulu. But going back to the Hecarims, look, Arcade Hecarim, that's the one. You're all wrong. War Eagle, get out. Rogan, you already know how I feel about you. Caleb, you're new, so I won't bully you just yet. But for the rest of it, Cosmic, he's never going to be there. Let's be honest. Like, you're going to start a relationship and he's going to be charging off into the Cosmic Sun the whole time. It's like, can we just go watch a movie?
That's true. A little absent in the relationship. Well, let us know your thoughts too in chat. But it is indeed Horse Week for Kiss, Marry, Kill, and these are going to be our results. But I respect your picks. I think it was well thought out.
I don't respect any of yours ever. You're always wrong. Always just me.
All right, let's head back over to the draft side of things as we're going to kick off game number 2. IG with the first ban heading up, and we get
Lilia. No changes, Caleb. I think it's just going to be nice and easy for the start. Do they still carry over those 2 no bans into the second game, or I think they do? So Nocturne, Hecarim, Lilia, and what was the last ban in phase 1?
I feel like there was a Jinx actually.
Jinx
was the last ban. Yeah, it's gonna be a Lissandra ban actually for the side of IG here. And like we mentioned before too, funny business backers, they're going to be skipping 2 of their bans because one of the players doesn't have rank on their account yet, so that'll be the adjustment made for them. But they do get a ban over here, and it's going to be a gym ban as well too. So potentially IG's looking to pick up the Jinx themselves here, but it's going to be the Nocturne ban again, just like last game for funny business backers.
Yeah, that could be a sign that they want to go once again towards that AD carry, big carry, step back, make sure they have no backline access. But it will be an Ezreal first pick. I think I saw somewhere Azure Fire played this mid. And I'm not 100% on that. I did see one of the mid laners does have highest mastery on Ezreal, and they are a mid laner. So I'm not sure which one that is, but no Jinx.
No Jinx. It's going to be the Caitlyn pickup too, but I do agree with you. I think that definitely could be a possibility, especially since we're already seeing Azure Fire play comfortably ADC in that mid position, and I do like that too as a first pick. Oh, there's a Zyra right there too, Caitlyn Zyra. That's going to be a pretty annoying lane to lane into. A small chance that that's actually a Zyra jungle as well, so we'll see how they flex that in the subsequent picks for Funny Business. Oh, and there's a Cassiopeia. Like I said, it was what, a 12-1-5 game last week against an undefeated team on the Cassiopeia. Azure Fire trying to wrap this up in a quick 2-0, but let's see if they're going to be able to do that or not. The Sejuani picked up for the jungler Merkmaster. It's going to be a good pickup for sure. A lot of utility.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying the Sejuani pickup. I know everyone says Sejuani duty's a thing. It's a great duty to be on because you just press R and somehow your team wins it, but Victor, very, very good matchup for the Cassio. They both have that, like, we want to step in, step out kind of style, get their damage off. Cassio just goes slightly faster when she wants to go all in, while Victor goes to slow you when he's going in. So there's 2 slightly different changes there, but 2 really good mages to set up for team fights, with Tryndamere and Bessa being taken away. It's so different coming from Vanquisher to Divinity and seeing the change in draft, because it's just like, Skarner isn't taken, Cassante's still available, all those like premier picks that if it's not taken, you're like screaming at the players like, why are you not taking this? And then here's just like, they don't matter to us, we're gonna ban Braum and Diana.
Yeah, I think probably a lot in the Divinity League, they're actually probably banning more based off of mastery and target bans for their opponents rather than just general bans, which I think makes sense given maybe the expertise goes elsewhere for them. We get the Seraphine pickup actually for the side of FVP. Interesting. That's probably going to be, that has to be a Zyra jungle, but they have absolutely 0 frontline so far for FVP, so it's gonna be an interesting game. I don't really know what to make of it so far. We get the Blitzcrank pickup though for IG. Likely going to go over to Concrete there, and then the Gragas top. I like it.
I do like the Gragas pickup here because there's so much control available for FBB. One barrel could just send them all off onto sides, kind of give Ezreal better lineups, give them a good opportunity. But instead of keeping with that theme and going for like a Malphite or a Cassante, they're going to say, no, I'm going to punch it.
Yeah, they're going to bring in the sets, which is going to be interesting. Definitely is some frontline for sure, but and could definitely draw quite a bit of attention away from IG. But I don't really know how this set and Gragas match is going to go. I mean, at least that can sustain a little bit longer in lane compared to some other top lane champs that struggle into Gragas. So it'll be an interesting one. I don't know. I don't really love the FBP draft that much, but we'll see.
I like it in the terms of like we have a bar brawl topside, right? We just have Punchy Man and Drunk Man, so just a straight bar brawl. In the jungle, we have a woman riding a battle boar versus a woman that likes to plant things, and they attack for her. In the mid lane, we have a snake versus a primordial evil. And then in the bot lane, we have the sheriff trying to catch Ezreal, who's wanted in nearly every single town and place in the whole of Runeterra, and a robot and a singer. Just looking at that on both sides is crazy. But I do like the setup FBB have more than IG, because IG is very like solo orientated. If this was like the likes of Valorant or something, it'd be like duelists versus kind of like initiators and controllers. Because Seraphine, Victor, and Zyra, their ults combined, if you're in there, you're dead. Those three will kill you. And then Set and Caitlyn damage on the other side, and then the other side is like Cassio, yes, you can kill one or two and get a good ult off and set them all up. And Concrete, yes, one good pull and you could change the fight, but it's skill versus simplicity, I think, is the best way to put these two comps. And simplicity always wins for me, because if you can execute a simple comp perfectly, you're winning the game through skill.
That's right. Well, FBB definitely needs this game to force a game number 3 here. I was going to get game number 2 underway. I will say, as we see 5-man invade here too. Caitlyn is in trouble, but the quick reaction kills from Baba, the flash avoiding the hook there, could have been disastrous for Baba, but is going to burn the flash to get to safety. As you see, the 5-man invade going to continue moving forward here. But I think FBP is well aware at this point too. I would say too, I like the range on FBP is going to make it kind of annoying for Cassiopeia, right? Not much really diving Cassiopeia too, so it would just kind of poke from range. Maybe going to be a little bit less effective into more heavy melee comps.
Yeah, it should be good to see how they do match up in this one. The one thing I will want to point out as we just look through the runes and everything else on the other side, I'm not liking that lethal tempo coming through for the Caitlyn. I don't think in this kind of game you're going to have enough time to get that stacked until the late game fights. Ezreal and Blitz have movement and CC and ways to stop or start fights quicker than you can scale that up. I would have preferred to see a first strike come through here and see the possibility of just better control and money and damage coming from that first strike, but we'll see how it works out. It's something that's sticking in my brain.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you there too. I mean, and especially I'm looking at the spot lane too. They just have so much range that they're probably not even going to be just fighting. Here we get the grab actually from the Blitzcrank on Baba. Baba's going to do some damage back, but that's a huge chunk of the health bar going down already. I mean, and if IG pushes for his level 2 pretty quickly, they can maybe go for a re-engage on that Caitlyn. But and they know Caitlyn doesn't have flash anymore too, so this is a prime position to go for an early kill.
Yeah, so we do have draft predictions coming through, and while our producer is telling us that, we also still have on the scoreboard, and they've already won first tower at 2.5 minutes, as I can hear our producer now cursing himself. But I think that if I were to be a completely mind-controlled AI robot, I would probably put the win into FPP's favor, which means I'm definitely going to get this wrong, and if you go IG, you'll win.
I was going to go IG in general too. I mean, I do appreciate a comp with a little bit more frontline, but I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if the draft actually is favored in FBP. So let's see what the actual thing is. And no, it is actually heavily in favor of IG. But I do think that the proper execution from Funny Business could definitely make this game pretty favorable for them, especially in the late game too. I mean, that set ultimate is just so annoying and could just decimate your team if positioned right too.
Yeah, we do have good eyes on the top lane right now. As soon as I say that, we go to bot lane. But as we are looking at the top side there, I want to point out the fact that Noble is just kind of pulling set in constantly here, and that would set them up nicely. But both junglers are actually hovering towards that bot side. If I was Gragas here, I would be shoving that as hard as humanly possible, using every barrel I can to get it across, so I can recall early and get my tier. Because that Fimbulwinter, it takes a while to stack, and Gragas doesn't really have the same spam ability as someone like the Ezreal or the Cassio, who both already have their tiers. So I would be trying to get this wave done and out so I can really get going on that tier.
Yeah, definitely. We see the positioning from Concrete there, just trying to hide in this bush here too. Taylor poking her head out a bit. The double range bot lane is not doing as much as I thought it would, but probably a lot of that is just due to the early damage on that Caitlyn, making it a little bit hard to engage here too. Concrete doing a really great job of just positioning, making it hard to even walk up to CS. As we see this mid lane matchup pretty even all the way throughout. Victor just very strong in this current patch right now too, so pretty safe to lane against outside of some super annoying, long range mid laners, but not going to be the case in this game.
Yeah, let's. As I'm looking across, everything seems even. There's nothing kind of standing out to me so far. I'm finally seeing the Gragas go back for that tier. I'm going to talk about him, and very, very happy with that one as Concrete is just stepping up and laughing directly in the face of the bot side. But we will more than likely see what we see from most Zyras, which is heavy objective focus and not ganking. Although you think that Zyra must have decent ganks with the root coming through and all that damage. It's like, no, it's mostly just for taking objectives. It's very easy as a person that's designed to be a summoner, is probably the best way to do it. There's someone that just constantly build up, like, remember Heimerdinger jungle was a thing for a while because you could take a Drake on spawn, things like that. Zyra's kind of designed around that as a jungler, where you can just go to an objective, put down all your plants, never take damage, and do an absolute ton of it. But we do see a fight breaking out over this Drake already. Sejuani's in the pit and Zyra is contesting it. Plants are down, but not spawned yet, waiting for assistance as Cassio is going to run straight on. Here comes a flash. We're going to see the top of our screen there. Zyra is going to go down for first blood. Paradigm Shift is going to take first blood here, and Ezreal on the board. IG looking good, stopping that Zyra in her tracks from picking up those objectives.
Yeah, really great engage from Concrete. I mean, just great blitzcrank play from all the way throughout too. You can see no vision right now in this moment in time too, as you can see how this fight even started up. As you can see, Corey is going to just drop some of these seeds here to kind of harass Sister Sejuani, see was going, but unfortunately just not enough vision for the rest of the team. As you can see, Azure Fire is going to start dodging away there, and the rocket grab absolutely framed perfect, just in range, and feeding that kill over to that Ezreal as well. So early points to go over to the side of IG. As you can see, FBP is going to just contest the grubs instead. Don't want to get too behind on objectives on like last game. But Paradigm Shift already, I mean, having a decent gold lead already over this Caitlyn, not only just in CS, but the kill and also just resources too, right? Still have both cookies and the potion of. But Caitlyn's flash is at least back up, so can maybe be a little bit more bold as they farm in lane. Here we see the rotation coming through, but I think everyone should go back off here as the objective has been taken from FBP.
Yeah, they've got their grubs. They've got one of the okay, Concrete. That was very mean. I don't think they got it, but it was a little mean regardless just to take that away. It's like, no, mice cuddle. But they get their grubs. That's Zyra's main thing, trying to get objectives. So lucky that they didn't get the Drake. I think it was a really good read from Merkmaster to go, they're going to be on this right away. It's a Zyra. So I'm also not happy with the fact that they've went for the Lost Chapter over the, I don't know what it's actually called, but I think it's just a pot. It does the bonus damage on tick. But Baba, you are in a little bit of trouble here.
All right, and we see the Blitzcrank is going to get here. The rocket grab is on point yet again. They're trying to feed Paradigm Shift the kill, but not quite going to be able to get it. As we see, Taylor is going to be there for reinforcements as well too. I think the heal was dropped for the Caitlyn and the barrier. So 4 summoner spells spent on the side of FBP to get away from safety, but that only makes the next fight a little bit harder for them.
Yeah, really well played there by the Caitlyn to make space constantly. Does manage to flash away from that big damage burst that comes through from Ezreal's QW. But just as the damage starts to take over, we do see here comes Taylor coming through, flash, shields, everything they need to keep their ADC alive. And Taylor, great work once again. And it does kind of suck now because Caitlyn will be forced to recall, will miss out on a chunk of a wave, miss out on a little bit of XP, but they do get back. They're level 6, so if a good fight breaks out, they might be able to get a snipe off, but Concrete will go for the hook, misses straight through the middle of the goalpost.
All right, Concrete is pretty low on mana at this point too, but slight level advantage onto the side of IG as well. So, and FBP not feeling that confident enough to go for engage yet. But the Hex Slash is up for the split screen. Let's see if they're going to make anything happen out of it. Meanwhile, this top lane, actually, so far, CS is actually favoring this set quite a bit, which is definitely something you love to see if you're an FBP fan.
Yeah, I would. The other thing we want to keep an eye on over the course of this game, if we can, is the Victor stacks. As we get those 100 stacks coming through the whole time, we get to see the upgrades coming through for the Victor. The closer we get to that 400 stacks for Victor, which is crazy to think about. 94, so nearly has upgraded on his first ability, which will more than likely be laser. But once all of them are upgraded, that ult, we'll start to see the arcane effect where it grows and grows and grows. And that's what we have to keep an eye out for, as we do see Zyra recalling in that bot side. Won't see anything happen with the jungler so far. It's a very quiet game.
Yeah, definitely. As we speaking of quiet, it's not so quiet in this top lane. Showstopper is going to come through, but you see the flash shot from Noble. Oh, and actually the Haymaker just going the completely wrong direction, unfortunately. I don't think that would have really changed the outcome there, and Legend Kimchi is going to go down in that 1v1 fight. Let's see how that started out here, too. Actually getting chipped quite a bit from these barrels, and Noble just poshing right here. Legend Kimchi feeling pretty confident still. Has the Haymaker still up, but not a lot of health to really play around with it here. Showstopper is going to pull him away, but the flash comes out, and you see here too, not really any damage even on for the Haymaker, just doing it for the slight shield, but Noble is going to secure that 1v1 kill.
Yeah, it's a nice and easy one when you're playing Gragas, when you can permanently get your health back by just using abilities. Tis a crazy world we live in where Nasus's passive is just lifesteal, but Gragas's is I get that and better and more. But yeah, Gragas has obviously been one of the premier top picks now for a while. We've seen it rise to popularity over the last season or so, and still untouched. There's someone in Riot that one tricks Gragas top, as that champion is completely busted. But
Definitely.
yeah, very, very comfortable. Hullbreaker first item coming out for set. Any opinions on this one?
It's an interesting pick for sure. I think most probably offer Stridebreaker on set as a first item, but I don't know. Maybe just really thinking about looking ahead, just be like maybe the win con just a split push constantly. As speaking of which, there is a fight going on, and Azure Fire actually goes down to Greye, which is going to be a big pickup for the side of Funny Business, as they're going to look to secure the Drake on top of it. Azure Fire, no vision here, and the Seraphine is going to stun it up, and then the Zyra to follow through. Azure Fire just has nowhere to go at this point in time, and Grey just going to, yoink the kill for himself there for some extra gold. As we see, Mountain Drake is going to be taken out pretty quick from Funny Business. Let's see if there's going to be a contest or not. Mystic Shot is not going to secure the Drake, and it is going to go over to Funny Business as they are going to even up the objectives. They actually have a 300 gold lead over IG, but the game is still quite early.
Drakes, but on the other side, Grubs were taken by Merc Master, so it's a completely even footing now, and Rift Herald or the next Drake will be the deciding factor on that objective feat. We still don't have Warfare completed either, so all the feats are still available to take. It's like, who wants to take it though? Who wants to be the one to force that fight? The one to try and win the Warfare? Because right now FPB need 2. So does that mean you send Zyra for a heavy gank on the bot side to try and kill both of the bot laners? Or on the other side, as IG, Sejuani has a lot more options. They can go to any one lane and just try to get one kill to win that Warfare. But we'll have to see what the decision is, because right now Sejuani is, I'm still farming, but Azure says, well, I'll do it for you, and goes topside, but it's still a solo bolo, and it's a trade back.
All right, and it's actually going to be IG that secures the Warfare feat for themselves. So if they get this next objective, that's going to be feats of strength for them. But as you can see, too, both top laners were going to go down there, but Azure Fire going for that roam to secure up the kill onto that set.
Yeah, so as your fire said, well, if the Drawing's just going to farm, I'll walk top and make sure we get this. Another lovely hook coming through from Concrete, and although that
Ooh.
Ezreal is tanking the tower, it is tanking the tower.
Oh, you get the Simul ADC kill too. Actually, it's going to be Concrete that picks up the kill on to Caitlyn. I think probably from the Ignite tick actually. But the Piltover Peacemaker is going to land on the Ezreal as well too. I think that kill, actually both kills went over to the respective supports in that lane. Kind of a funky fight there, but a really good ultimate from the Seraphine. As you see, the Blitzcrank is going to come in here too. Rocket Grab is going to pull Grey back in, and Azure Fire is going to pick up another kill. As Azure Fire is going to try to even up the goal differential in this mid lane. Now the kills are starting to rain in. It was a little bit slow to start, but the past 2 minutes have been action-packed.
Yeah, Concrete with a great roam up there, and even Merc Master following up to try and get something off the other end of it. As your fire is now going to try and turn back onto that Zyra, and you can just see how strong Cassio is in these situations. You give them a 1v1. We're not talking about it. We're not talking about it. Talk about the top side right now as Kimchi is in a lot of trouble. They're stun on stun on stun, and Zoom managed to get back. Look, we have to talk about it. We watched a snake lose to grass.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Kimchi as well to not even able to get the haymaker up. But let's see if we could get a replay of that earlier fight here too. Unless a fight breaks out from this bottom side, but we can see on this camera not going to be the case as they're going to chase Caitlyn off. And here comes Zeri posturing as well here, and Azure trying to do what he can. Position in an interesting position right here.
Here it is. Here it is. Like you're taking a fight with plants and losing, and here comes the Arcane Comet. Just as extra annoyance off the top of that one as Corey's of the Rose manages to take out the snake. As we do see Concrete went a little bit aggressive and does go down. Looks like it was just one too many in the bush there as Zyra was waiting in the wings. But we do have that Rift Herald I was speaking about coming up now in 30 seconds.
It's okay, Zero. I feel like we've all been there before. But that plant damage is no joke here, as we see the fight that broke down on this bottom side here.
Yeah, way too many in one bush, as they've read this one perfectly. But I want to ask you something. What do you think the timer should be for everyone to reset for an objective?
I guess it depends a bit on if you have the TP or not, but I think at a minimum probably 30 seconds before objective, probably actually sooner, probably like 40 seconds or so, or maybe even a minute if you have the time to go back
50 to 115. So 50 seconds to a minute and 15 is when you should be starting your reset. You should be leaving. But on the other side, we're going to have an all-in coming through here as Cassio is going to land, but Giovanni's going to get onto the backline, but it's not going to be enough. You don't have the damage yet. You are CC'd, you are stuck, you are dead, and Merc, that is not where you want to be. That is way too many lights and colors and AoEs hitting you directly in the face. You may be a battle boar, but that is Arcane. That's a movie.
And we get the shutdown going over to Grey as well too. I mean, I think Funny Business is definitely putting some respect on Zer's name too, recognizing how strong he was in the last game, dropping both the Seraphine ult and the Zyra ult as well to just CC Azure Fire to death. Had nowhere to go, and then once that damage is gone, Sejuani just can't do much here. As we see a replay of this top lane fight as well too, Legend Kimchi just skirmishing back and forth with Noble. You see the damage for the Haymaker just not really stacked up at this point in time too. Legend Kimchi feeling pretty confident going back in for this and going to pull in the Facebreaker as well. Has though the Haymaker up and just going to keep getting some of this damage from Kragas. Feeling really comfortable. Tries to go for it, but no, once again, not even having time to pull the Haymaker off as Noble's going to pick up an easy 1v1 kill again in this top lane. 3-1 and 2 now on this Kragas. All right, first tower was taken, so IG is going to grab that feats of strength for their side yet again. Goal differential is still just 300, but this time going over to the side of IG as the score is only 8-7. So still anyone's game, but top lane looks pretty in favor of Noble so far, and doesn't really look like that's shifting anytime soon.
See, the thing is I'm thinking is FPB have the easier comp to execute. So the longer this game goes at a fairly even state, I think FPB are going to be a lot more comfortable on this one. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do with that. I just think that they are going to have a much easier time around these big objectives later on, like the Akatans, the Barons, the more important drakes like Soul Drakes or Soul Point Drakes, etc. The longer it goes, the better they're going to be in position. But IG, if they can find those picks, if they can control the side lane like they've been doing so far with the likes of the Gragas, they still have great opportunities to open this one up. As we do see the all-in comes through, Baba will manage to flash out of that one as we do see the charm come through from Taylor, but it's not onto the people that are onto your Caitlyn, but it has been stopped.
Yeah, the Glacial Prism just missing the Caitlyn as well, and then the Yordle Snap Trap is going to put Sejuani in her place, not able to continue that chase any further. A lot of resources spent on trying to secure that kill, but the Blast Cone is going to get the set to safety, or maybe it was the Grog safety. Hard to say who was actually going for it at this point in time. Rift Herald is going to start coming through, though, and it's going to start storming away towards this mid lane turret. There is 4 members of the side of IG already trying to slow down this Rift Herald, doing whatever they can. But here, Zyra is going to go inside this Rift Herald, going to try to crash it, but Zyra might be in a tough position at this point in time, just putting herself into 4 members on the side of IG. Is going to get the ultimate through, but not enough to kill anyone. And Caitlyn goes down as well. Double kill going over to Paradigm Shift. That is not who you want picking up these kills, but IG's going to definitely take it. I think maybe got a little overzealous there with the Rift Herald. You know, sometimes you just got to let it go, and it's maybe not worth the crash, as you can see that they actually didn't even take that turret, but they do take that top turret.
Yes, we do have a 1v1 here coming through from the Victor and the Cassio, as it is looks like it's going to be a blow up here from the Cassio, but the stun comes through. It's a good bit set up on the other side of that one, as your fire will eventually get back to that fight, but the 1v1 heavily in favor of Cassio for now. As you do see the rest of this coming through, they will take that tower on the top side though. I see a red health bar going low.
Yeah, Showstopper's going to come through, but yet again, Legend Kimchi unfortunately just too stunned up to get the Haymaker off as well. But I think, and a shutdown going over to Paradigm Shift. Again, a lot of gold going over to Paradigm Shift at this point in time too. Looking to probably complete the second item quite soon at this point in time. Probably going to be at that Manamune. Has Azure Fire looking for engage here. The rocket grab is good. Grey Ye is going to be stunned up a bit, but Azure Fire is kind of low, and the rest of the reinforcements are going to come through from Funny Business. But Grey on this Victor, you know, not the best right now in that 1v1 versus Cassiopeia, but late game Victor is definitely no joke. As we see the top fight, how this played out, I think Legend Kimchi pretty content on just split pushing right now, just drawing some attention away, but the reinforcement from Merkmaster is going to make things a little bit more difficult to stay alive. But I think Legend Kimchi is going to respawn, just head back over to another solo lane, as he's going to continue just split pushing, putting some pressure on the map for IG.
Yeah, we have to break down this map right now, as we do see Paradigm Shift is feeling a little bit too comfortable, I think, right now. Flying forward on that Ezreal, finally not on Ziggs duty, and just wants to put down the pressure mechanically. As right now we do see they're setting up for this Akatan. It is Voracious, I believe. I always get them wrong, so I just call them purple and orange. So I don't actually know what they're called, and I've refused to learn them because hopefully they'll be gone next season. I think
No, you are right. It is the Voracious Otacon. Last game, it was Ruinous because it was actually a lot more action-packed. But I actually don't even think either team grabbed the Ruinous Otacon last game because I think they just ended it beforehand. But Corey, be a little cheekier, throwing some of the plants to just aggravate the Otacon a bit to, in case IG was taking it, just to, you know, start spiraling some damage there for them. But neither team is going to go for this Otacon. Just this point in time, about 2 quick K gold difference in favor of IG so far, as they're going to continue pushing their advantages. But the turrets are, there's quite a few turrets going down already for them. Oh, Glacial Prism is going to go through. Corey actually caught in a tough place, and it's going to be instantly going down. Azure Fire is going to pick up the kill on that jungler, and you can see the Sejuani is getting pretty tanky at this point in time, too, taking almost no damage from that Zyra.
Yeah, some really, really good movements there for them to get aggressive onto that Zyra, but oh no, Seth, that's not the position you want to be in. You have a whole breaker, you don't have the damage for it. Not quite yet, as Taylor will get hooked in as well. That will be it. 2 kills picked up. Third Drake should be available. Noble Bark will be able to pick up this Caitlyn nice and easy. On the other side is there's no summoners available for them to escape those fights, and they're the times you need to relax. sit back, let things happen as they should. Let them get the Drakes. Don't look for fights and set. Stride Breaker and Hull Breaker, yeah, okay. You do have some really good pressure in fights. But Hull Breaker, you need to be off on those sides. You need to be pressuring that bot tower especially. That cannot be still standing. That mid tower still standing. FPB, they have all of the wombo combo. They just don't have the sauce right now.
Yeah, I think I saw the vision, right, from Legend Kimchi, but unfortunately was just way too chunked by the time he threw down the showstopper, and again just could not get the haymaker off. Fully stacked haymaker would have done a lot of damage to connect on anyone, but just a little too frail at this point to get it off. As you can see, a 2-level disadvantage already for a set compared to Noble Bark on that Gragas. So a bit under-leveled, a bit frail on this set. But set definitely has a lot of utility in the late game as well. So just going to have to continue farming and splitting. As you can see, Legend Kimchi is going to be splitting on this bot side now, trying to grab that turret.
Yeah, finally moving down towards that. The main thing right now for the set is to try and move around the map and cause pressure to kind of make them fight with numbers advantages. You want to be able to move Victor to a fight very early. You want to be able to move them to a numbers advantage. Numbers advantages will win you this game with the comp that you've built. Just play to the comp that you've built and stop worrying so much about what you're losing on the map in the time as Taylor. Oh, it's a tough position.
Ooh, Taylor doing everything she could to kite away too, dodging a lot of skills. Unfortunately, does go down, but does drop the ultimate right beforehand. And ooh, a big Zyra as well, catching both the Ezreal and the Sejuani. It's going to be 2 kills going over, 2 shutdowns as well. Going inside a funny business. Definitely a great time to do this, as Baron is going to spawn up at this point in time too. The plants will be able to tank this quite well. You can see Azurfire just going to start rotating over. Grog is rotating over as well too. Maybe trying to see if they could slow down this Baron take. I mean, yes, they don't have a jungler on the side of IG, but it doesn't mean that they can necessarily get this Baron for free for the side of funny business. However, they are going to start chunking down this Blitzcrank. Noble is here for the reinforcements. There's a ward there to see it, but the flash forward as well, and Baba is going to flash out to safety to avoid that. But this is going to definitely stop them from taking Baron at least before Murkmasa is back up. So good rotations from the side of IG, and they didn't really lose anything off of that either.
But it's also the Akatan is still sitting there available, and it's just going to take one fight for Akatan, Baron, End. All in one good push, and one good team fight is all they need from either side. So I just want to see more pressure from the set. I want to see Taylor being able to ward freely and someone to walk with the support. God, someone walk with Taylor. Give them the opportunity to get those wards down and keep you safe.
Yeah, definitely. I think Taylor, just like last game too, very consistent as well, but just, you know, the rest of the team a little bit behind too, so makes it a little bit hard to play the support role in these situations. I see Corey of the Rose in a kind of a precarious position, does get called out from Noble as well. Let's see if Corey is able to get out here. Is going to get root the Gragas, but Gragas is going to push Corey back. Glacial Prism is going to slow down the Zyra. Zyra just barely hang out. Another huge ultimate from Taylor is going to save Corey. Oh, and the True Shot Barrage, though, is going to secure the kill on Corey from Ezreal. They go for the re-engage. Legend Kimchi trying to find the angle yet again. Showstopper. Pulling Sejuani in the wrong position here. Does finally get the haymaker off, though. Murkmasa is going to finally go down. 1 kill going over the side of Legend Kimchi. Going to reset that gold's bounty for the side of Set at least. So going to be worth some gold now whenever Set does die. But overall, solid fight, I'd say, for funny business. A little unlucky on Corey and that Zyra. As you can see, Azurfire trying to chunk down Greye. Greye is going to lock Azurfire in place for now, but taking a sizable amount of damage.
Yeah, we do see Kimchi now swapping back towards that top side to try to get some more pressure up there with that Drake now spawning soon. We'll have to move down for that one though, because you don't really want to see the likes of a Blitzcrank, an Ezreal, or a Cassio with increased movement speed. It's going to be a lot harder for them to lock them down into these big ults. Taylor once again landing a decent one onto Noble to set them up to take out the Gragas. Get onto that phase 2 of the Victor ult, which should be available now. I'm not sure if they have full upgrades yet. 214 CS, 3 kills. Should be a close or completed. We'll be able to check that soon enough. But It is still a little bit worrying for them to not be able to set up their fights correctly and getting caught out in weird positions.
Yeah, definitely. You can see, try and get some vision here for this Drake as this is sole point for the side of IG. So Funny Business definitely going to want to contest this. They have to be careful though. This Blitzcrank is definitely looking for a nice rocket grab for the right target. If they grab the set, it's not the end of the world for them, but set is going to start getting chunked as well to the set. It's a low on level. Oh, and threads the needle here and grabs on Taylor. Taylor trying to ult right before going down, but not going to get it off here. Set caught between all 5 members here. A huge haymaker is going to land and chunk the health bars on the side of IG, but just not enough. Victor ultimate is dropped as well too, but this is looking like IG's fight all said and done, and they are going to pick up the Cloud Soul for themselves here as they're going to extend the lead over about 6k gold difference, or no, 4k gold difference now, but that is Cloud Soul for them. And again, that Otacon is still up on that top side. You gotta expect that they're going to try to go for this at some point in time too. Jungler is going to be still up for on the side of Funny Business, but it looks like they're going to go straight for this Baron as we take a quick look at this replay.
Yeah, it was just unfortunate that it was Taylor here that gets caught. Out of all the targets that could have been hit, that's probably the worst one, as that ult is probably the most important one here. But as Yor also puts down that grounded, there's no way to get them out. And Baba and the rest, look, they can't even get close to this fight because Cassio's just holding that choke. And Kimchi, for all the good that the Haymaker done, no one there has a glass chin.
All right, and here we see the Baron is going to be taken, and now they have the Voracious Otacon to boot as well. It's going to be a tough game for Funny Business, especially in the next couple minutes, because with both Baron, I mean, they got Baron, Cloud Soul, and Voracious Otacon. They're definitely going to try to get some turrets, some inhibitors in the process, maybe even try to end the game here as we see we are heading into the 3rd minute mark. But what is the win condition now for Funny Business, I gotta say, because at this point it is a tough game for them, right? Obviously the set being behind is not great, but set's also their only front line, so being shredded that quickly in fights is not really going to be a good position. I think the last time we've seen them win a fight, they definitely had the numbers there to help, but in a straight 5v5 fight, it is not looking good for Funny Business.
No, the most important thing for Funny Business is setting up a 5v5 fight with all their ults layered on top of each other and not losing someone. And that seems to be what's happening right now, is they just don't have the sauce.
They do not. They do not have the sauce. They don't have the tankiness as well to match yet so far for IG. As you can see, IG pushing their advantage into this bot side as Grog is going to split top by himself here. Concrete just going to go aggressive in here. See if you get a good rocket grab as well to set up these fights. Concrete's been pretty on point with these hooks all the way throughout the game too. Let's see if he could get another one as the True Shot Barrage is going to come through to clear up the minion wave. Oh, and it does land. It's going to be landing on Taylor yet again. And Taylor is going to go down right away. So one member going down already. Legend Kimchi's not even there for this fight. Has to try to match a Gragas, but that means there is just not really great engage on the side of Funny Business. Because of that, we actually see the flash forward as well from the side of that Blitzcrank, and Corey on the Zyra is going to go down to Merkmasa as they're going to grab the inhibitor. They still have quite a bit of minions pushing here, and let's not forget, Voracious Otacon is still up too, so they don't even care if they die at this point too. They're just trying to grab the objectives. You see Paradigm Shift trying to grab that turret first. Nexus turret's going to go down. Meanwhile, Legend Kimchi's in a tough position, but the Showstopper actually comes through and makes it kind of an interesting matchup here. And Noble is going to pick up another solo kill on Legend Kimchi. Going to try to join the rest of the team. However, I feel like most of the team has already been sent back home at this point too. So getting quite a bit of value in that push so far. As you can see, Blitzcrank still here, still going for a rocket grab as the Paradigm Shift is going to be joining the fight as well. They want to just end the game right here and right now.
Yeah, they're able to open up the base fully here. They're able to get everything they need from this, and they're just going to be able to continue this assault, because how do you stop them at this point? All the TPs being burned now to get them back into the base to get a second inhib. They're looking at getting the last one as well. I think minions are going to take that top tower as well. It's an interesting position for them to be in right now, because there's nothing on the map for them to take. They've emptied all resources in terms of major objectives. They got Soul, they got Baron, they got Akatan. Right now, FAB just have to hold on for like the next 5 minutes in the hopes that they could maybe get an Elder. That's it.
Yeah, it's it's not going to be a pretty fight, even if it comes down to that, as we see almost a 10K gold difference now for the side of IG, as they're looking good. They're feeling great about themselves as well, too. And this Ezreal has 8 kills to his name, 4 completed items, well, almost full build at this point too, as he's Concrete going in for another kill as well. Glacial Prism is going to land on top of this set. This may be diving set. It's usually not a bad thing for set, but this set is not nearly bulky enough. Goes for the Haymaker and doesn't even do even half the damage to the Ezreal. Just way too far behind is Funny Business and this set here too, as they're looking to make one final push onto the one remaining inhibitor left. Not a much of a wave at this point in time, so we're going to wait for the next wave to come through, or maybe they just go straight for the tower dive. It's hard to say. Concrete is looking for another immaculate grab here. As you can see, Azurfire actually going to be pushing in this mid lane too to cause some problems and maybe even flank over here. Noble is going to continue the pressure on as well, but Funny Business has to put up one huge stand, only just 18 seconds left till the set is up, but I don't know if they have 18 seconds left in this game, as the final inhibitor does go down. Only one turret left to keep them safe. They're going to quickly chunk away at this turret, and this Nexus is going down way too fast. You can see the fight is going to go through, and IG going just for some kills here at this point in time, trying to have some fun. The showstopper is going to come through from Legend Kimchi. Let's see if he can land a huge haymaker to save the game. And no, not going to be the case. Does shut down the Cassiopeia, but this Nexus is going to be completely eviscerated, as well as the rest of the team from Funny Business. That's going to be IG with a quick 2-0 victory this week in Divinity League.
Yeah, but they just managed to completely annihilate them. That was an absolutely massive shift in how they wanted to play from game 1 to game 2, and I honestly didn't expect the Cassio and Ezreal to work so well together as your main carries, but Gragas just came through as an absolute thunderous top side, and then Ezreal just blew up that bot side, and the hooks coming through from Concrete as well, they were, pardon the pun, but solid.
Yeah, very, very solid for sure. I mean, really great engage from Concrete. It's just some of those hooks are just almost just blind hooks, but just grabbing the right targets every single time too, especially on Taylor on the Seraphine, right? A lot of the Seraphine was their engage because they just lacked that front line, or set was just split pushing or somewhere else on the map. So once you take out that Seraphine, there's just not enough engage on the side of Funny Business. But another very dominant victory from Imperial Gaming, and they're going to move their score record now to 3-2 for Divinity League. And this is 7 weeks of the regular season, and then we also have playoffs. But yeah, fantastic game from everyone throughout on the side of IG. Funny Business definitely had some solid moments for sure, but just kind of fell a little behind throughout, and just couldn't come back into it.
Yeah, we'll see how they get on with this one, and we'll see if they can build themselves back up, FPB. But so far, IG, if they keep playing like that, you're going to have some very, very strong contenders going into playoffs. The matter is, can they keep that up? That's the most important thing here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened in the 2 losses for Imperial Gaming, but after seeing this 2-0 victory, I am not surprised that they 2-0'd the top seed Astronauts last week, and they're looking like they're finding their stride here in the midway point of Divinity League. So let's see how they close out the regular season. But that's going to do it for us. So big shout out to the teams for making it onto the broadcast, and I believe we have some merch too before we go. So if you're a big fan of Titan Esports, get yourself some merch. I know it's getting cold in some parts of the world, so there's some nice merch, as you can see. FOF esports.com/Titan is where you could get your merch. They got some nice hoodies, mugs, hats, some other apparel as well, so be sure to check it out yourself if you'd like to support Titan Esports. But that's going to wrap it up for us. Any final thoughts from you?
Still not happy they don't have a Seder mug. That's the most important thing. But no, it's very, very good. I'm glad I jumped down, got to see some Divinity. Hopefully I'll be back again soon, and hopefully it's because no one else is missing. It's just because you just want me to jump in for one. But other than that, no, it was very good to jump down. Very happy to see how you're getting on with your casting, considering it's your first year, and so far you're absolutely smashing it. Also, Shirogan's still terrible. Absolutely awful. Can't be dealing with this, but we will see you all very, very soon. We'll see you all tomorrow night with myself again as we jump into Vanquisher. So have a good night. Peace.
All right. Bye, everyone.